the backlash and explains why he's upset over Jania Michelle being in the club. So I'm going to open this drawing up right here real big, and I'm going to go ahead and open it from where I am. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to read the actual post. Oh, no, nasty work. I'm going to read the actual post of what he's saying. So this is NBA Young Boys BM, right? And now you heard my very, you said I have a very harsh stance on what's going on here. So basically, what's happening here is Mr. Murray was not able to accept human behavior. A part of being a successful dude, right, or just a smart guy, is long term thinking. Because again, if he has strong, and this is one of the things that this is how youth will get you. As an old ninja is able to be in one position, right, and be able to see 10 years into the future. But when you're a young guy, you have an idea of what might happen, but you also have more optimism, and you just genetically, you're more driven to want to be able to deal with the bullshit. You have more tolerance for stress, right? But this is where your optimism can kind of lead you in the wrong direction. So this now, he never questioned the stock that she came from. The kind of men that a woman is associated with, for men of means, you can't be taking shit like this. Like, black men just roll the motherfucking dice. But we gotta talk about why do black men feel as though they can do this shit? And a part of why they think they can do this shit, this is a part of, this is one of the consequences of female leadership, right? And single mother households. What it does is, from a very young age, black boys are taught to tolerate and accept black women no matter how they show up in the world. They're taught to kind of tolerate, for the most part, young black men at a very young age. Like, there's someone that builds up your palate for disrespect. I never forget, like, or you may come across, especially if you live in the hood, you're gonna come across a really ghetto, aggressive young girl who's very physical and who's actually threatening you at a very young age. I never forget meeting this girl who was 8 years old, and she was already confrontational, already was like threatening people and trying to fight me and stuff like that. She was a cousin of this really ghetto family. Like, yo, they wasn't shit. Okay, when I tell you they wasn't shit, they wasn't about shit. Like, my uncle was friends with one of them, and that nigga dead ass came in our house and stole his PlayStation, and my uncle had to go in his house and go over there and take it back. And what happened? The boy who did it, like, he just became like a whole like career criminal, right? Like, he was that character from the after school special or from the hood movie where it's like, yo, like, he dropped out, started to sell dope, you know what I mean? And the streets got a hold of him. You feel me? I think his name was Jamal. Shout out to Jamal. But anywho, they had this cousin, I forget her name, but she was mad, loud, aggressive, and that was the first time I ever heard someone say, "I'm from the heart of Newark." The heart of now, I go, even at 7 years old, I'm like, that shit is hard. I'm like, wow, that was hard. Cause I'm like, I never, cause that was ill. You know what I mean? But you had to realize, yo, who was she around that she learned to say some cold shit like that? She was like 6 or 7 years old and physical. All right. But anywho, black folks, especially black men, got to realize, like, yo, fam, you can't change people. Certain people come from certain stock. You gotta leave them there, man. This is NBA Young Boys' baby mother. But I want to read this whole post, and I want to speak to what he's feeling and what he thought was going to happen and what kind of deal and what he thought he was providing. So, like I always tell y'all, right? What the men got to realize is that, yo, women gaslight you. Hold on a second, move this over a little bit, y'all. Make sure I'm on the right, John. Women gaslight men into monogamy. Hold on, make sure I'm on the right mic before I go any further with this shit. All right, cool. All right. Women really be gaslight men into monogamy. Meanwhile, they have a poly mindset, right? And a lot of men don't understand that. So they think, oh, well, we have a child together. So we're going to be committed and we're going to try our best to make this work. Wrong. nigga, you gonna try and make it work, and you gonna try to be peaceful, unless you look a hothead nigga or a super emotional nigga that gets very physical. But no, nigga, you gonna try and make it work. If you're like a responsible, like good dude and whatnot, it's you that's doing that work. She's spending more. You gotta realize, women are so manipulative. They don't realize that they put more energy into trying to manipulate you rather than trying to actually solve the issue or actually trying to avoid problems in the future. I mean, so that takes the form of her gaslighting you into feeling like you're taking advantage of her, but just however she can find her way into the victim place. Because once she's in the victim place, in terms of saying, well, you're doing something to me, or or basically you're violating my freedom or trying to control me in however many ways. But anywho, um, going back to like the tolerance and whatnot. I'm sorry. So I brought that little girl up because that was one of my first experiences with a girl rather than interacting with me in a respectful way, she chose to be aggressive with me. Or one of the first girls that liked me and everything. And when I was young, my mother couldn't really explain to me what that meant and what it was, because I would say, yo, this girl named Shaniqua, she always messing with me. She always messing with me and everything. And she'd say, oh, it's because she likes you. She never went further in terms of explaining how can I say, the irrationale of all that. You know what I mean? Which the lesson was, you're trying to apply logic to a situation that's not actually logical. This is just how it works. With certain things, it's just how it works. Right? Meaning that women are not able to communicate directly, and by way of not being able to communicate directly, it can result in, at times, you're basically lying. Even if you're not lying with your words, you may be lying to yourself. Right? But anywho, so what men don't realize is that women will let you invest in them, and not that you shouldn't invest in them, right? But women will let you invest in them, and they'll make you think that, okay, I'm going to be wifey, I'm going to behave, and I'm going to come under your leadership. And maybe that was never a thing. Maybe that was always a man's fantasy, having control over his woman. I don't know. But of course, and I was saying this to my homeboy too, the other side of your girl being submissive to you is that if she's submissive to you, the moment that she breaks character, the moment that she starts act like she don't want to do certain shit, your whole world gonna fall apart, because you're gonna be spending a lot more time trying to get her back into that submissive place rather than not having it at all. So right now, I hope I'm not saying his name wrong. Dejounte, I'm sorry, Dejounte. I'm gonna call him Dejounte. Dejounte Murray. Right now, he's scraping and scrambling, trying to figure out what all been wrong. Now, mind you, she ain't been caught cheating. This is basically, obviously, they had some kind of agreement about her going to the club. So, in my mind, what that means is that she goes to the club to make money. What that means is that she takes dates, because there was no reason for you to be that upset about her going out. You know what I mean? But I'm going to go ahead and read this post real quick in terms of what he's talking about. All right. So he said, the fact that y'all went from, oh, she changed and living a great life and got away from them. And got away, then boom, he only mad she outside. You wouldn't be mad if you living and got a family with a person, with a person that you've been asking for years to be real on what they want, and they say a family and not be in the clubs no more because it's old. Then they say they're going to Houston to work and see family, but end up lying and avoiding me while in the clubs unannounced. Now, this is like an emotional rant he went on. So the comments ain't there, man. Bear with me. Y'all fans are sick. I want the best for that girl and just wants to be left alone from this shit. Y'all mad y'all can't bully me and accept the truth. Why wouldn't I be mad she sacrificing her son missing school for being in a club shaking ass, and our kids having to be stuck in her mama house when she never communicated to being in clubs? At least send the kids with their daddy and not your mama. Y'all got this shit. Y'all know that girl best self was with me, loving her, all the lies, drama she come with, and still was 10 toes down with her about whatever against whoever. And lastly, let's dead that lame ass narrative of she don't work because of me. I bet she won't get on here and tell y'all I made sure she never wanted for money, Try to pay any dollar for production team for content, my nigga. Try to get her back in school to learn how to open up salons, and I funded 100% and want nothing in return. That sounds like a real nigga to me. Trying to turn shorty from a girl to a boss queen. I won't ever entertain that shit again, though. I just ain't never had no one come tell the truth, and all these fake narratives got put on a real nigga name. All right, so first and foremost, bro, so what he thought was, again, shout out to CGA, all men will pay. Don't get me wrong. He's not doing anything wrong, but he's really bought a lot of people's downfalls, including women, is you believe in women's stories and believe in women's words. All the red flags are there. What he's trying to do, don't get me wrong, a man does have the divine ability to turn any woman into his woman. That's right. He can do that. You know what I'm saying? If he's a decent man.
I'm a decent man from the city of demons. Niggas be scheming. Niggas be shooting.
You know what I'm saying? No, that plug talk, baby.
Plug what?
What?
I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk.
So men do have the divine ability to turn any woman that they want, who is willing, into their wife or their girlfriend, which is why men, like, you know, KS would say, guard access to marriage and relationships, right? You know, women guard access to you know, sex and childbirth, right? Because it can't happen if they don't want it to happen, right? But I made this point last year about over management, right? And that's why the word management has man in it. Pause. And what men have to be careful not to do is to over manage, meaning to not try to control something that you cannot control. That's the smartest thing you can try to do. Is say, well, you know what? I do not have the leadership skills to solve this problem, so I have to now defer to another man who has better leadership skills or more information on this than I do. So the best example I can give you that is maybe like you have a plumbing problem, you have a problem with your car, and you know, okay, if I try to do it myself, I may fuck up my car. So therefore, I'm going to take it to a mechanic because he has the information. But again, some people, in their own ignorance, right, and their own scarcity mindset, they may try to actually fix that car themselves. And what could possibly happen? You're going to fuck around and fuck everything up. You'll have the parts everywhere. You'll be scraping and scrambling, losing screws. All right, and you be one of the reasons why it's a big old bolt in someone's tire because you out here trying to fix your own car. That's the end of the joke right there. But anyway, so he also spoke to. He said, "Y'all saw her live her best life.
You want to fight?
Living her best." So what he's saying, like, wow, you know what? I seen you become a better person while you was with me. I seen you happier while you was with me. Men don't be catching on to the true nature of women. Why do you think women like all this negative shit? Just because you make her a nicer person, a more disciplined person, if that's not who she wants to be, if that's not how she sees herself, women don't really define themselves as being disciplined. Women don't really, especially if you're talking about a woman of this caliber right here. This is the kind of girl you're supposed to have fun with and hang out with and whatnot. And when you in her city, y'all can kick it. More than ever, real talk, what he's going to learn the hard way is that no one really loves a successful man. People love to enjoy what a successful man can bring to them, but no one really loves a successful man because you can do more. So it's hard for them to see you as just a person because you're a person who can do so much, right? So when that goes on, their idea of you is not just, okay, I like this about him. I like when he said this. I like when he did this. His personality, you know, he's funny. He could dance and whatnot. When you a dude who got means and everything, in her mind, what she can like remember last is what you did, what you paid for, right? So he's supposed to invest a lot of money into this girl. And CJ always talks about, especially for guys with money, once they get into a relationship, they actually wind up paying a lot more. He said he paid for a production team for her to do content. He said, no, that's money coming to me. He said he was going to pay for her to go back to school. All this shit costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. That money that he getting ready to put in, or he already did put in. if you're a successful guy, listen, that's out for you because you're only going to be a target. And being as though you got more resources, again, that's time and energy. The more successful you are, the less time you have to waste on being heartbroken and being upset. So, let me go ahead and read the other side of this whole thing. No, okay. All right, so I guess this is him responding to someone in the comment section. He says, controlling why I pay for a full-time nanny only for her to be able to have her time to work and do what she need. Propose to someone constantly lying and saying she want to be one place but really want to be elsewhere. Sound like a girl trying to play dangerous games to me and not trying to free up someone they really want to be with. I bet she won't tell you the convo of old girls saying in writing, I never came to her hosting. I never invited her to my party. How am I invite the girl to a party, Jania, and the two girls she deeply knows do for me? Y'all sick. I'm a real man. Let me give y'all some advice. Your name is all you got. And when you got a girl that knows all these narratives are fake and not real on your name and won't come defend you, but soon as someone mention her, she's so quick. Let me give you some advice. Your name is all you got. And when you got a girl that knows all these narratives are fake and not real on your name and won't come defend you, but soon as someone mention her, she quick to defend her name. Like y'all sick. The truth hurts. I know. F y'all. Anyway, so that's that. Okay. Listen, bro. Black men in particular, you gotta realize, yo, it is not your job to elevate somebody, especially if they've already had the shot. I'm not saying that women with kids can't have relationships. This most of the time, yo, it is what it is, man. It's very difficult to have a cohabitating relationship with a woman who has kids already. It's very difficult to actually get into a long-term relationship with a woman who already has kids, because for the most part, she kind of already has a man in her life, whether she with him or not. Because most of the time, women don't really let that go, and they would one way or another make you feel like they wish that guy was still around, or like you're like a second choice, no matter what you're doing, right? Because again, they have a unique bond with that person, and at the end of the day, it's who women are. Right? Now, they may not wind up with the guy they had a kid with, but most of the time, especially if he the kind of dude like young boy that got a lot of kids by a lot of different women, a lot of times, yo, that woman will always be holding on to that guy, and in her heart, right? And that just makes it where it's not as much room for you. And also with him being a guy with means and everything, it's just poor decision making, fam. But anyway, they still together. I mean, they haven't broken up officially or nothing like that. It's just more so probably the beginning of it. But I guess I'm just questioning, like, damn, like, what's going on that you feel that strongly about her going out to the club? You know what I'm saying? Like just going to the club. You feel me? So if he feel that strongly about it, it must be because he knows that, yo, she used to, well, she goes there to find, other dudes. You know what I'm saying? Other, clientele and stuff, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if he just goes to the club, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. Unless there's a thing that she's going to do there that she don't want him to be doing. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to take a quick break. That Wi-Fi together, baby. We go again. You ready? What?